Hey everyone, welcome back to Auto Trend TV. I'm your Viprajesh again from RAMANINISSAN, Coimbatore today, and I'm here with the newly launched facelifted BS6 Datsun Redi-Go A variant. This is the first major update of the Redi-Go hatchback, where Nissan has tried to give a bold look along with interior and equipment upgrades. Talking about looks, at first glance itself you can notice the large and very imposing grille on the face of the Datsun Redi-Go. This large grille is quite similar in size to the grille seen on the new Hyundai Creta. Along with that, you can also see a very sharp looking front bumper, which also received the L-shaped chrome inserts on either side of the massive grille. These chrome inserts are standard on the second level A variant, whereas on the entry level D variant you get a black bumper without any of the chrome inserts. The headlamps are now sharper looking with new chrome detailing on the inside. This being a budget car, you do not get projector headlamps on any variants. However, LED DRLs and fog lamps are available on the top spec T option variant. Moving on towards the sides, you can notice that the profile of the Datsun Redi-Go has largely remained unchanged. You get the typical tall boy stance and a curvy looking front window. However, the Datsun Redi-Go facelift now gets this Datsun badging on the front fenders, and the wheels are now actually larger than the previous 13-inch ones, with 14-inch steel wheels standard across all variants. However, you still get only 3 wheel bolts. Now, this being a second level variant, you get black colored ORVM and door handles. However, the black masking tape on the B pillar completes the look of the side profile. At the rear, however, you can see that largely nothing has been changed. On this mid-spec variant, you still get the very same tail lamps seen on the BS4 version. However, the top-spec variants of the new facelifted Datsun Redi-Go get LED details in the tail lamps. While even the rear bumper remains exactly same as before, the top-spec variant is expected to receive a dual-tone treatment. You can also notice that on the rear bumpers, 3 reverse parking sensors are standard across all variants of the new Datsun Redi-Go. One thing to be noted is that the top spec T option variant of the Datsun Redi-Go facelift also receives roof rails along with LED fog lamps. So overall on the exteriors, the Datsun Redi-Go A variant looks decent. Now let's get inside the car to check out the features and equipment. Yes folks, I'm right now inside the newly launched Datsun Redi-Go facelift A variant. Now this here is the second level variant of the Datsun Redi-Go range, and that is the reason you do not see a lot of features in this car. The predominant features of this A variant are a power steering wheel, and you also get air conditioning along with a driver airbag as standard. So that is a good thing actually, because the pre-facelifted Datsun Redi-Go used to get a driver airbag only as an option, but now in this BS6 facelifted model, you get a driver airbag as standard across all variants along with ABS and EBD. So apart from that, you can see that the instrument cluster has been updated significantly. It is a little bit cooler than before. However, you do not get the digital instrument cluster kind of thing seen on the Renault Kwid. This is still a very much analog unit. However, you can see this small MID on the right hand side lower corner. Now I have got the key of this car. Of course, this here is the key of the A variant. Now do not expect any sort of remote key or central locking key for this variant, because this is a second level variant only. The next variant, namely the T, that gets manual central locking but still no remote locking. Remote locking is reserved only for the top spec T plus variant of the Datsun Redi-Go facelift. Now I have slotted this key inside and I'm just turning on the ignition, just the accessory, so that you can have a look at the instrument cluster with everything turned on. Now just have a look at this MID. It gets a tachometer in a digital format. I don't know how good that works, but let me just try showing you everything. It gets distance to empty. This is the odometer, trip meter, the average mileage, now average economy, and basically that's all. Apparently it also gets gear shift indicator. That is why there is a gear knob kind of an indication in the MID. So that's all about that. The speedometer is the predominant center stage over here, and you get all the other warnings and everything on the sides. You get the indicators about there as well. Just have a look at that. So that is all about the instrument cluster. It's very simple, definitely not as complex or as fancy as those on the Renault Kwid, but it still works. Very good one. It's clear and easy to read. So that's all about that. The steering wheel is of course not even tilt adjustable, so it is just fixed in a position, and the driver seat also cannot be adjusted for height. You only have a recline and slide function. Just have a look at that. This here is the lever for reclining, and underneath the seat is the actual rod for the sliding function. So you may have heard the door thunk. Now just have a go again. So that is how the door closes. It is definitely not the most solid car over here. Of course, this is a budget car, so you cannot expect that kind of solidity over here. Now coming to the center console, of course, you get this very new dashboard with the brand new center console, a hexagonal kind of design over here, kind of reminding you of the new Renault Kwid, but this one here is slightly larger than that. You get a touchscreen system, an 8-inch touchscreen system to be precise, carried over from the Renault Kwid on the top spec T Plus variant only, but this A variant does not get any sort of a music system or an infotainment audio system or anything. This is simply just a plain thing. You get a couple of storage pockets. You can actually fit either a single DIN or a 2-DIN system over here, so that's all about that. The air conditioner switches are kind of similar to that seen on the Renault Kwid as well. I think even these things are actually borrowed from the Renault Kwid because they look exactly the same. You get the very same chrome finish, the very same matte finish on the side, and basically that's it. It is a simple aircon unit. This console is very simple to use. You get one blower fan speed control, you get one directional flow rotary knob, and this one over here is the temperature control, and this here is the air conditioner button, and you get a slider for the internal and external recirculation. Just below the AC console, you get to see this small tray kind of thing where you can actually place your smartphones while they are being charged through this 12-volt charging socket. You can also see that this 12-volt charging socket actually gets a proper cover kind of thing. It is nice and it has got a click function. It is really nice and premium to see this feature in such a budget car. So coming further below, you get to see another storage pocket over here where you can actually see couple cup holders. Now just have a look at this. You get couple cup holders over here. Actually these can also hold sort of half-liter water bottles, so that is also very nice. This here is an empty panel. I'm not sure why, but still I guess you can actually place your cards or coins over there, so that's all. Now this here is the 5-speed manual transmission of the Datsun Redi-Go 800cc. Now this has got a dogleg kind of mechanism for the reverse gear. You have to engage this collar, you have to pull this collar up in order to engage reverse gear, so that is also a new function, especially in this budget kind of category. Now coming further behind, you get to see the handbrake lever, which is placed at the center, and this storage space over here can be used for placing certain small things, kind of your CDs, or I'm not sure, your small books, wallets or something. So that's all about the center console. That is all you get in this variant. You get couple AC vents on the top with the hazard button at the center, so that is all about that. Now coming to the passenger side dashboard, you get this nice ivory white kind of plastic finish over here, and you can actually see the texture over here. It is not just a plain plastic panel, it is actually texturized, so it is nice to feel and look at, but I think it's a subjective thing. Now apart from that, you get this tray over here where you can actually place your small items, say chocolate bars or your smartphones or something. That can also be done. The glove box is of a very decent size, much larger than before. It can be actually very much used. You get to see these large manual books of this car. However, this is not a cooled glove box. Of course, in this budget, you do not get such a feature. But one thing to be said is the improvement in overall quality and fit and finish of the cabin of the new Redi-Go. You can see vast improvement. You can see actually significant improvement in these textures, the overall plastic quality of the cabin. Everywhere you touch, it's much better than before. This cabin is pretty much convenient and easy to live with. You can also see that this car gets adjustable, internally adjustable ORVMs with these manual kind of stocks for both the ORVMs, unlike the Renault Kwid. So that is a major miss out on Renault's part. However, the Datsun Redi-Go gets this, so that this is very nice. And coming to the driver door itself, you do not get any sort of controls, given the fact that this is a second level variant. You get this manual winder for the window, which is also very good quality, and you get these plastic door knobs. These are just black plastic. Everywhere you can just see black plastic. There is nothing sort of decorative over here. It is simple, functional and very easy to use. That's all. Now you get the actual door locks over here. These are very much kind of Maruti 800 like, and even the Renault Kwid has these kind of locks. So these are decent in quality, not the best, but still they work absolutely fine. This car does not get center locking, not even manual center locking. Manual center locking is reserved only for the next T level variant. So enough about that. Just have a look at the dashboard again. Now coming to the roof, of course you get this non-adjustable, just an IRVM. This does not get a day-night switch or something. This is just a functional IRVM. It's wide enough, it's thick enough so that you get enough view. You can clearly see the rear windshield from this. It's absolutely great, it's absolutely perfect. However, a big miss out on Nissan and Datsun's part is the absence of any sort of vanity mirror on the sun visors, even for the passenger side. Apparently only the top spec variants have that feature, so it is fine. You can see that this sun visor can also be extended towards the side, so that's all about that. And this over here is the single interior cabin light of the Datsun Redi-Go. You just get only one light for whole of the cabin. As you can see, the rear seats lack any sort of interior lighting. It's a typical thing when it comes to budget cars, so it can be excused. So that's all about that. The overall visibility is excellent. You sit higher than most of the other small cars. You get very large windows so that the visibility is excellent. That thick C pillar is, however, kind of a blind spot, but it's not that bad. You can actually work your way through that using the reverse parking sensors or a reverse parking camera, which is available only on the top spec T plus optional variant. So that's all about the front part of the cabin. So let's just get to the rear seat to check out the overall space, comfort and experience. Yes guys, I'm right now in the back seat of the newly launched Datsun Redi-Go facelift A variant, and this is how the dashboard of the A variant looks like from the rear seat. It is much better than before to look at, and this is a much better cabin to be in when you compare with the previous BS4 model. So coming to the rear seats, of course you can see the space is decent. It is definitely better than on the Renault Kwid due to the additional space carved out in this cabin. Of course, the major advantage is in terms of headroom. You can see a whole lot of headroom for me. The roof is much taller than the Renault Kwid, and that is a major benefit. You can actually seat 3 people over here. I mean 3 very thin people. If you are a well-built adult, you have to adjust with only 2. 3 will be definitely a much tougher squeeze. However, the biggest advantage with this BS6 facelifted Datsun Redi-Go is that you get proper 3-point seat belts for the rear passengers, at least for the 2 rear passengers. The middle passenger has to adjust with just a lap belt, but still this is definitely an upgrade when you compare with the BS4 variant, because the BS4 variant used to get only static seat belts for the rear passengers. So that is a good thing. Apart from that, you can also see that the B pillars and the C pillars are now fully covered in plastic, unlike the BS4 variant, because on the BS4 variant these used to be exposed metal areas. Now these are totally wrapped in plastic, so that is much better to look at than before. So that's all about the rear seats. You also get the very same manual window winders seen on the front. Let me just open the doors for you again. So this is how the manual window winder looks like, and this is how the rear door looks like. It is the simple black panel seen on the front doors, just similar to the front doors. Additionally, however, one advantage when you compare with the front doors is that these rear door pockets are much larger than the front ones. You can see the cutout for a 1-liter bottle holder, so that is a really good advantage. So that is nice. So now let's just have a look at the boot of the new Datsun Redi-Go facelift A variant. To open the boot of the Datsun Redi-Go, you have to pop this lever up in the driver footwell, and to open the bonnet you have to pull this lever in the driver footwell. So let's just open the boot. The Datsun Redi-Go facelift, just like before, offers 222 liters of boot space, with the boot itself being quite deep and well shaped. In order to increase the boot capacity, you can fold the rear seats completely flat, and to do that you have to pull these flaps on the shoulder of the rear seats, and once you do that you get easily 514 liters of luggage space, where you can easily load larger luggage. However, as you can see, this is not a completely flat floor, which could take a bit of effort to slide larger items. While closing the boot, you can also notice that the Datsun Redi-Go gets a decent amount of under boot lid padding, unlike certain other budget cars. So that was all about the boot space of the new Datsun Redi-Go. Let's get to the engine bay. Yes folks, I'm right now going to open the bonnet of the new Datsun Redi-Go facelift, and under the bonnet is the very same 3-cylinder 800cc petrol engine seen on the Renault Kwid. However, this engine is now BS6 compliant and produces around 55 PS of maximum power with a torque output of 72 Nm through a 5-speed manual transmission. On the top spec T option variant, however, there is also an option of a 1-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine carried over from the Renault Kwid. Behind the engine, you can also notice the ABS control unit, which is now a safety feature standard across all variants of the Datsun Redi-Go. Along with that, certain structural changes have also been made to the platform of the Datsun Redi-Go to improve its crash worthiness and safety. The bonnet receives decent amount of under bonnet padding to improve the insulation from the 3-cylinder engine. However, once you open the bonnet, you can't help but notice the lightweight nature of the bonnet of the Datsun Redi-Go facelift. So that was all about the engine of the new Datsun Redi-Go facelift. Now let's get into the driver's seat again to start the engine and check the NVH. Yes guys, I'm right now again in the driver's seat of the Datsun Redi-Go 800cc facelift, and I'm going to turn on the engine to actually check the NVH and overall noise levels. So that is how the 800cc 3-cylinder petrol engine sounds like on the Datsun Redi-Go. It kind of seems similar to the Renault Kwid in terms of NVH and overall feel and feedback. There is the typical 3-cylinder thrum, and it is okay. It's definitely okay. It's not bad. So I'm unable to drive this car for now. However, I'll be able to drive this car in a later time period. So let's just switch this off again. Let me just conclude this review right now. So that was all about the newly launched Datsun Redi-Go facelift A variant. Even though being a second level variant, this variant offers decent value for money. One major point to be noted is that the entry-level D variant does not even offer power steering or air conditioning. So naturally, this is the logical variant for people considering a comfortable city car. The higher spec variants also offer new features such as LED fog lamps, an 8-inch touchscreen system with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and a reverse parking camera. The pricing for the new Datsun Redi-Go facelift is displayed on the screen right now. And at this price range, the new Datsun Redi-Go facelift could be the ideal city runabout car, while also offering decent amount of space and comfort. So do let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the new Datsun Redi-Go facelift A variant. Meanwhile, this is Viprajesh signing off. See you on another video. Thank you for watching.